right, so we're going to talk about finding slope, which you know how to do from a formula, but today you're going to find slope by looking at a graph. So you might see some lines here, and your job today is going to be finding the slope of the line, the rise over run, just by looking at it. Technically, you could figure out the two ordered pairs and then do your martini glasses, if you know what I'm talking about, the formula. Technically, you could do that if you're not feeling super confident with your ability to do this. However, I'm going to teach you a shortcut, so if you know how to do this, it'll make your life a lot easier, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. We have 6 different lines here that we're going to find the slope for. So remember, slope is always going to be rise over run. So it's always going to be how many you go up or down, and then you're always going to run to the right, how many over. So we're going to start, like we're reading a book, at the point of the line that is farthest to the left. So we're going to go left to right, okay, from this point to this point. We cannot just count from here to here, because slope is rise over run. So it's going to feel a bit awkward, but you have to kind of count up like an L or down like an L, okay? So we're going to start at the furthest to the left, and we're going to do our rise. So this one is going up. I have to go up to get to this point. So I'm going to count how many up I go. So I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3 up. So it's going to be a positive number. So up 3. And then I'm going to count how many over, what's my run. So from here, oops, sorry. Getting a little crazy. So from here, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my rise is 3, my run is 5. So I have 3 over 5. Always make sure you can't simplify. You cannot simplify this one, so you are finished. So see how much simpler it is than figuring out your formula? If that's easier for you, you could figure out these 2 points and calculate the slope that way. But this is a super duper shortcut. All right, so let's look at B. We're going to start at the point that is furthest to the left, which would be this one. And I can't just count down the line here. I have to do rise over run. So rise over run. So this time, in order for me to get to this point, I'm not going up for my rise. I'm going down for my rise. So I'm going to count from here. How many down? 1, 2. So since I went down, it is a negative. So that's going to be my rise is -2. And then I have to calculate the run. So from here, I'm going to count over. Sorry guys, I keep doing that. I'll get the hang of it one of these days. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you guys can do this on your own sheet. You don't have to wait for me to do it if you think you know what you're doing. But remember to always simplify. So you can plug it right into your ABC button. But if I simplify that slope, it would be -1 over 5. All right, let's move on to C. I'm going to start at the point furthest to the left. I cannot just count willy-nilly here. I have to do rise over run. So I'm going to start here. To get to the other point, I'm going to go up for my rise. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 up, that's my rise. And how many over? I count just 1. So that's my run. All right, simplify it, which would just be 5, but we like it as a fraction, so you don't really have to do a thing there. Let's look at point D. So I'm going to start at the point furthest to the left. Can't just count here, got to do rise over run. So to get from here to here, my rise is going to be down. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, down 3. That's my rise. Remember, if you go down, it's negative. And then my run is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So remember to simplify, so you'd get 1 over 2. All right. Let's look at E, which lost its little E here, but here it is. So I'm going to start at this point here. furthest to the left, my rise is going to be up. I'm going to go up to that point. So I have 1, 2, 3, up 3. That's my rise. And my run is going to be over how many? 1, 2, 3. If I simplify, you would get 1 or 1 over 1. Either one is fine. Okay? I'm going to have you guys try F. In order to get credit for this, you have to know what the slope of this line is. I'll give you a hint. You're going to start at that point. So calculate the slope of that line. Make sure you put the answer in your form. But before you turn me off here, one more little thing to talk about when you're finding slope. You're going to have two very strange lines. You're going to have a horizontal line and you're going to have a vertical line. So these have very special slopes. Notice that it's very difficult. You can't do rise and run here because it's a straight line. Rise and run, can't do it. So you just have to have something that you remember. If you have this kind of line, a horizontal line, how you're going to think of it is it's just a zero slope. Something you just have to remember. How I remember is I can write the word 0 with that line. Or if I'm skiing on this line, it's like there's no slope of this line. It's a 0 slope, okay? So 0 difficulty for this kind of line. Okay, so however you want to remember it, that's a 0 slope. When you have a vertical line, it's going to be a little strange. It's going to be either called no slope, there's no slope of this line, or the slope is undefined. Either one means the same thing. Now, how I remember this is I can write the word no slope with this line, or if I was skiing, I would say there is no way in heck that I am ever going to ski down a slope like this. So no way in heck. So 0 slope, no slope, two things to remember. Again, make sure you fill out the form below, answer the question from the page before, and let me know when you're finished.